Hey everybody, this is Outdoor Medic. This will be my first video here, so I'm going to be going over some first aid kits. I'm part of the subscription service here, so all of these have come from some sort of subscription service. We're going to go through them. I'm going to tell you the pros and cons, things like that. But before we get to that, a little bit of information about myself. I'm an Air Force medic, been an Air Force medic for 8 years now, paramedic for 2. Not a whole lot more else to talk about myself at the moment, but if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. Alright, to the aid kits. Okay, first up we're going to go on to the water gel burn kit here. This is obviously a very specific kit designed for one particular purpose. On this particular purpose, it's going to be burn. So let's go on in here. Alright, so this is the burn kit here. Starting off, we have 2 different types of burn dressings from different companies. However, each one of them is a 4x4 to go along with burns. If you're going to have and treat burns, you never want to treat a burn or cover a burn with a dressing like this if it's more than 1% of your body. And for that, it's more than one hand. Okay, Palmer method. I'll go into more detail on another video on that. So 2 burn dressings. 1 first aid burn cream. This does have lidocaine in it. Burns when you first put it on, and then the pain goes away. 2 different types of single antibiotic. Hydrocortisone cream. Hydrocortisone is a steroid good for reducing swelling as well as itching. Bacitracin, another type of antibiotic. Hand sanitizer. Cool gel, topical cooling gel. Relieves pain. Basic stuff here. Just your different types of oils that are going to be in this one. Alright, water gel, burn gel. This is the same type of analgesic that you are going to get in the burn dressing. This is just a gel that you can mix with something else. Last but not least, we do have muscle gel. So this is pain relieving. Alright, last but not least, we do have muscle gel from water gel. This is a pain relieving gel that you can spread on top of aching joints and bones and muscles here. It does contain menthol. That's typically what you're going to have when you're trying to have reduced pain. Alright, next up we do have the Kit Jungle First Aid Kit. So this is supposed to be a mimic of the good old Vietnam, World War II era. Got the Alice clips here. It's supposed to be a reproduction, obviously not one of them from that time period, but mimicry of that. Both this and the water gel are both from Battlbox. Their previous subscriptions, so let's take a look at what's inside. Alright, so diving into this kit, we're going to start off, we obviously have first aid instructions here, just your basic stuff, nothing really extreme, you know, CPR, elevate pressure, things like that. Basic first aid. Obviously need your good 1 set of gloves here. This looks like vinyl. Prefer nitrile, a little bit better and more durable and feels a little bit better, not only you, but also for the patient on that one. So, not bad. Band-aids. You got 2 different types of band-aids. You have your basic little 1x4" style patent band-aids. You do have some larger ones here. Looks like 5 of those. It does come with 2 sugar packets. Now sugar is good for a couple things. One is it is a natural antibiotic. Putting it on wounds and things like that does help prevent infection. Also, it is useful for people with hypoglycemia, you're going to see diabetics and things like that. If they're going to have reduced sugar and they're going to be in a more of a comatose or an altered mental status state, sugar will be beneficial for that. Having that in a first aid kit, not a bad thing to have, but probably could use that weight for something a little bit better. Now I find this one just comical. An actual bar of soap. Anyway, obviously cleansing and things like that is a top priority for all of these, but hand sanitizer or something of that sort would have been a much better choice for this. Small little bit of tape, nothing really special about this one. 2 packets of triple antibiotic ointment, so obviously a pretty standard choice for any first aid kit. Up here we do have 2 rolled gauze. It does say elastic bandage, but these are just roller gauze to roll over wounds and things like that. Keep gauze pads and things like that in place. Basic stuff. Alright, antiseptic cleaning wipes. Looks like this one has just benzalkonium chloride, also known as BZK. This is your basic cleansers, much better and safer around wounds than most things except for provolone iodine. Definitely use that for cleansing around areas of wounds and things like that. 2 alcohol prep pads, not a whole lot to say about those ones. Provolone iodine, obviously same as the others, good for cleaning wounds. We have 2 2x2 gauze pads here, as well as 2 3x3 gauze pads. Why they don't have some 4x4s, I'm not 100% sure, but always good to have gauze. Definitely a priority for pretty much any first aid kit. Trauma pad. Just your basic ABD pad, abdominal pad. This is meant for absorbing large amounts of fluid, blood, things like that. Really, this is going to be your go-to for your mass trauma in this type of a kit, since you don't have other things like tourniquets. So, yeah, this will be your big bleeder one. And that's everything in that kit. Alright, last but not least, we do have the general purpose first aid kit. So this is your typical, you're going to have it in your house type of first aid kit. Kind of stuff that you would find at Walmart, things like that. However, I would like to note that this is made by First Aid Elite, or Elite First Aid. I've gotten some things from them in the past, and they've not been too bad. Much better first aid kits than your typical Curad and Johnson & Johnson type stuff that's 90% Band-Aid. So let's dive into this one and see what we got. Alright, so diving into this one, we do have another set of those first aid instructions, just your basic stuff here, just like everything else. Unfortunately, this one doesn't have any pictures or anything, so you kind of have to know what you're doing to start off with for this. Pair of gloves, these are nitrile, much better quality than the vinyl ones in the last kit. Just much prefer these ones. Do have 2x2 gauze, or 4x4 gauze pads, 2 of them. As well as 10 2x2 sterile gauze pads here, individually wrapped. Nice assortment of band-aids. Basic, looks like paper tape on this one. Do have some bandage scissors. So the things that are great about the bandage scissors, obviously you're not going to be cutting off clothing or anything like that, but the one thing you always are going to wish that you had when you have good old gauze rolls like this is a way to cut them. So having these inside is much more beneficial for that. To go along with that, we obviously do have a triangular bandage, good for wrapping arms, providing wounds, putting pressure, things like that. 2 of the 4-inch conforming gauze rolls here. Same as all the other ones, they've been good for that kind of stuff. 4 ABD pads. Obviously this kit is more decked out for some sort of multi-trauma situation. Coming down here we do have 2 different things of first aid cream. So these are going to be similar to the ones from the previous 2 kits for burn cream with lidocaine and BZK. 2 packs of essentially Excedrin with acetaminophen, caffeine, things like that. Can't really get it in focus here. 8 sterile alcohol prep pads, just your basic prep pads, nothing real special on these ones. Also 8 BZK wipes. So there you go. Just your basic good cleansers. Alright, so that's going to be this kit. Let's take a look at them again. Alright, good old side-by-side review for all of them. Some key points I'd like to point out for each of them. Obviously, being a burn-only kit, this is very specialized. However, what it does specialize in, it does pretty good. The only thing I'd like to see more in this one would be some sort of gauze in order to wrap up some of those bandages and dressings. So your typical, gauze rolls that you see in some of these would be perfect to put in the burn kit. Besides that, it's pretty well done. Moving on to the Jungle First Aid Kit. The only thing I really don't like about this one is that it shows off itself as a military pack, some sort of like IFAK, Individual First Aid Kit, but it has none of the accessories that come inside. So you're not having any of the tourniquets, no Israeli bandages or any sort of pressure bandages, no quick clot things like that, quick clot gauze. None of that kind of stuff in here. Your basic first aid type supplies are in here. Very little on the medicinal side as well. General purpose first aid kit. I think that what this is intended for, it does fairly well. The only thing that I'd like to see more in this one is a variation in terms of the medications. Obviously you have different types of cleansers and things like that, but only having one type of pain relief, and that pain relief being not only containing caffeine. Apologize for that, everyone. It seems like my video cut out here for a second. But anyways, the general purpose first aid kit. The only thing I'd really like to see is a type of medication that doesn't involve both caffeine as well as acetaminophen, as well as some other drugs in there. I'd like to see some just your basic ibuprofen or naproxen or something of that kind for a pain reliever. It's also nice to have some other sort of first aid medications like, say, diphenhydramine for your allergic reactions, Benadryl, or Imodium for your diarrhea. That kind of stuff would be good to have in this. Otherwise, it's not bad. Could also use some EMT shears. Looks like they show a set of scissors here on the front, but that's not quite the scissors we got in this one. Alright guys, so that's kind of what we're looking at for these 3 kits here. Overall, not too bad. This one was definitely, I would say, one of the better ones when it comes to the quality products that you were getting in the kit itself. This one definitely has a lot more work to put into it, but the general purpose first aid kit would be good for the people that have just some need for first aid supplies in the house. Alright guys, so apparently my camera's just not wanting me to finish up this video, so I'm going to cut it short here and just say I appreciate you guys for watching this video. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe. Go ahead and spread this out to anyone that you know, and leave down in the comments whether or not you like, what you didn't like, and what you recommend for the next video here. I appreciate all you guys do for me, and I'll see you guys later.